This video is for Chapter 10, Lesson 1. We're going to graph radical equations. So first we're going to do some review, and then we'll do some new. When you have an equation that looks like this, something x plus or minus something, that was a straight line. If you have a squared, that became a u, and the bars became a v. Absolute value bars. So absolute value ends up looking like this picture. Exponent of 2 looks like this picture. No exponent looks like this. Our equations today are going to be square root signs, the square root of x. So in general, the square root of x is, it'll be easier if I draw it over here. Imagine a u on its side, not a u that's the quadratic u, but this one that's tipped on its side. And you might be thinking, wait a second, we can't have a u like that, it's not a function. Well, the square root takes away half of the u, and that's the picture you're left with. Now, sometimes it could be that the piece that gets erased is the piece that's on the top. So then it looks like the bottom half of the u. So if I draw it over here, it looks like that. Okay, let's go back and review. How did we decide where the line was going to be? Well, we had a couple of options. One option was to make a table and do our pick and stick. Like you could pick 0, 1, and 2, stick it into this equation, get an answer, then those became your ordered pairs. We also had the method where you could just look at the back and say, starts with 6, starts at 6 on the y-axis, goes up to right 1. But that only worked, that second trick, the no table trick, only works for the lines. The quadratic, you had to make a table, pick and stick. Absolute value, make a table, pick and stick. Radicals, square root signs, you're going to have to make a table and pick and stick. All right, let's say we have this equation. The square root of x minus 2. The minus 2 is not included in the square root sign. We'll have another example where the minus 2 is under the square root sign with the x. So we want to pick numbers that we can square root easily. 0 is a good pick. The square root of 0 is 0. Subtract your 2. There's your answer. Square root of 1 is a good pick. The square root of 1 is 1. 1 minus 2. The square root of 2 is not a good pick, it's a decimal. The square root of 3 is not a good pick because it's a decimal. I mean, we could do these, we would just have to get a calculator out. The square root of 4, okay, here's another mental math one. I can do the square root of 4. So the square root of 4 is 2, minus 2 is 0. What is the next easiest square root to do? 9. The square root of 9 is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. Now we can go graph these. So 0, negative 2, 1, negative 1, 4, 0. And I don't have enough space, but that's okay. 9 is up here at 1. Connect. There's my picture. So I do pick and stick, picking numbers that I can square root easily. And I don't want to pick negative numbers because I can't square root a negative. You've got to go all the way until you find, like this is where it would start turning around again. So you can't start at 1, you can't start at 4. It's important to have the 0. That's where the curve would make its turn and become a U again. All right, let's try this one. If I do 0, that is a bad pick because 0 minus 2 is a negative number. So we don't want that one. What we do want is to find when would this equal 0. And that's the first number I should pick. How do I get a 0 under the square root sign? Well, I get a 0 under the square root sign by picking a 2. So if I pick a 2, I get 2 minus 2, That's 0, that's 0. Now, I want to pick something that's going to be 1. But remember, I'm subtracting 2. If we just pulled out a calculator, decimals would be fine, but I'm trying to figure out numbers that would be easy to do. So how about 3? 3 minus 2 is 1, and the square root of 1 is 1. How do I get a square root of 4? Because that was the next one. Remember 0, 1, 4, and 9. How do I get a 4? No, shoot, I don't want to do that. I want to do minus 2. Something minus 2 that equals 4 is 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. The square root of 4 is 2. How do I get a 9? 11. 11 minus 2 is 9. The square root of 9 is 3. So now I'm going to come over and graph these. I've got 2, 0, 3, 1, 6, 2. I don't really have space for that last one. 11, 3. Okay, so there's no tricks other than pick and stick. That's your method. But you want to pick and stick numbers that are going to equal 0. That's your beginning of your curve. Okay, once you know how to graph them, the book is going to have 2 other sets of directions. They're going to say, how does this compare to the parent function? And what that means is, how does it compare to not having a minus 2 or not having anything? The parent function is just square root of x. So the square root of x was our 0, 0, 1, 1, 4, 2. It looked like this. So how would we describe this? I should have done them in 2 different colors. This guy is the question. This is the parent. How does the question compare to the parent? A good way to say that is maybe that this guy shifted to the right 2 places. Every dot is 2 places further to the right than the parent. Scooched over by 2, scooched over by 2, scooched over by 2. Now, maybe we would have one that got pushed up. So maybe something that was up here. Maybe we have one that went lower than the parent. Maybe you have one that went shifted to the left of the parent. Maybe you have one that's curving. We didn't really know what to call this in class. Like, it's going higher. It's getting higher more quickly. Or the opposite of that, it's not getting high as fast. So in each of your questions 1 through 8, they want you to say, how does it compare? How does your answer compare to the parent, the plain old square root of x equation? Finally, we're back to these words that we've seen before, but we haven't seen them in a while: domain and range. Remember, domain is x, range is y. I'm going to erase the parent equation so we don't get confused. So we want to know what x's work. Well, this x doesn't work. There's nothing at this x, none of these. So the first x that works is 2, and every x past 2 would work. So we say x is such that x is greater than or equal to 2. The y's will always be positive because this guy will get increasingly higher, but the y's will never be down here in the negatives. So we say y such that y is greater than or equal to 0. That makes it positive. So you have 3 parts to every question. You've got graphing it, you've got comparing it, and stating the domain and range. All right, good luck.